Hey everyone, Shaedow here, and welcome to another Marvel Contest of Champions video. So it's Season 7, and this is War number 5, and we are going up against Adrenaline Arc. Now, we have gone up against them before. I can't remember who won on that one, but this is already shaping up to be a very interesting war, so hopefully we can pull out the win. Now, I've scouted out my path, and things look okay. I went in with my standard team. I didn't decide to try out that 3-star Heimdall synergy that I did before. I wanted to play it safe. I'm not running suicides right now because I looked at the mini boss and it was a Yondu. And I don't like running suicides when I'm fighting someone who can add another bleed stack to me, because then I will take damage. Alright, so first up, we've got ourselves a 5-star Cosmic. And I did go ahead and use the Scouter Lens bot. You can find a description, a link to that in my description. And so I already knew that this was going to be a Gamora. Very easy to fight. Now, I don't remember if I've told you guys this before, but this may be the first Alliance War video you've seen, but what I generally do is, once I have already completed my path, I then go back and edit the video and add this narration. So at this point in time, I've already cleared my path, but the war is not done yet. So far, things are looking pretty close. All right, so we were able to take down that Gamora. No surprise there, and things are looking good. Sadly, they don't stay looking good, but we'll deal with that when we get there. Alright, so next up, I've got a tech. So you know that I'm going to bring in Corvus for this. It's a tech, ends up being Doc Ock, and I'm able to get another mission from this opponent. Now, Doc Ock can be a little tricky to fight, but I've gotten used to his animations and his reach, because he has a pretty long reach. And those arms really can get you, I don't know, mesmerized or confused, but I've gotten pretty used to it, and I was able to get him down without too much difficulty. So now I have to deal with this poison node. And when I looked, I saw that it was a Mystic. Now, in the early days, I always brought in my Hyperion for this node. But I remember one time I went up against a Mephisto, and I was thinking, you know what? It would actually be better for me to bring in Iceman instead of Hyperion. So that's what I did. And of course it was Mephisto. We didn't need the Scouter Lens bot to tell, because they had persistent charges. Alright, so I went into this fight unboosted, and I regretted that about halfway through this fight. One of Iceman's drawbacks is his damage. He just doesn't put out a lot of damage. Now, fighting against Mephisto is a little tricky because he's immune to Mephisto's Incinerate. Okay, so I don't have to worry about that. And you see there, I got caught by the end there. That woke me up, let me tell you, because I was doing fine until then. I was like, okay. But as you can see there, I fired off my special one, even though Mephisto is immune to the Cold Snap and the Frostbite charges. So what I was saying is that Iceman's damage is pretty low, but if you know how to play him, you can increase that damage. So it's still low, but it's not as low as it could be. So Mephisto here is a very good placement to deal with my Iceman, because I can't get any Frostbite charges on him, so I'm not able to parry, fire off my heavy to detonate the Frostbite charges and do extra damage. I can't do any of that stuff. He's not taking any extra damage from the Frostbite because he's immune. So I'm just like, wow, this fight is gonna take a minute. Well, Not literally, but you know what I mean. It actually took much longer than a minute, as you will see. So I started firing off my special 1 simply because it would do a little more damage. I was looking at this point for any extra damage, and I'm looking up at the clock, and I'm like, okay, I should be all right here. I just need to continue playing slow and steady like I've been playing. Don't panic. Don't try to be more aggressive than I was simply because I see that I have less than a minute to go, because his health is about gone and down he goes. So a pretty lengthy fight, but as long as you keep your head, you can do it. I will say this, I was wishing that I boosted up, and I was also wishing that I had rank 5'd Iceman. Now, in the long run, of course, I would have regretted ranking up Iceman to 5, but like in that case, it would have helped his damage out. All right, so as you can see, I moved up to node 46, and at this point, you know, I took a peek to see who that was. I was pretty sure it was an Iron Man Infinity War, and it was. I used the Scouter Lens bot before I went to bed, and it confirmed my guess. And so this is the next day. I woke up, waited until I had 5 energy, and then I boosted up. So I'm looking over my boosts here, and yes, the store still does not have a lot of those 3-minute boosts. And I was going to make a video on that, but I decided not to. All I can say is I don't like it when someone insults my intelligence. And what Kabam did, what they said on the forum concerning those boosts in the store, that insults our intelligence. I don't think it is completely as random as they say. All right, but anyway, so it is an Iron Man Infinity War. And of course, Corvus is an awesome counter for him. Now, back when I was with my previous alliance, I was still taking this path, and before I had Corvus, I used Hyperion. And my record for fighting Iron Man Infinity War, even the first time I ever met him on this node, I have only lost once. And that time I lost because I didn't have my Corvus or my Hyperion. I went in with my B team. I forget, I think we were trying map 6 for the first time or something like that. So my guys were tied up. And so I went in with Voodoo and I forget someone else. And I just wasn't used to fighting him with those champions. And so I ended up getting wrecked. But I did end up getting him down eventually. All right, so now we're facing this OG Spider-Man. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, this was some sloppy fighting. So I got the evade mission completed. And you guys have seen me fight him and evade his special 1 here, right? Look at this. Got wrecked. My timing just off. And I'm just like, oh, wow. Okay, well, we're good. We're good. And then that happened. Now, you've seen me, or if you haven't, you can look back and just look at this. This is just nuts. I'm like, okay, I'm not going down here. And so I got him down. But I remember during one video, someone asked me how I was able to block his unblockable and then evade the second part. And I explained it the way that Kabam did this. For him especially, you can do that when he's on an unblockable special 1 node. But as you saw there, for some reason, nothing I was doing was working. You know, my timing was off. I just failed. So fortunately, I didn't die. Now we're facing this Mordo, and I went in with my Starkey because, of course, Corvus was wrecked. And this fight also is ugly. All right, so you see I went in a little early, did not build my poise charges up, but I want you to watch what happens here. Okay, so he got the unstoppable, and then he hits me. And I'm just like, okay, once he had the unstoppable, that kind of shook me. He has unfazed. And look at this. I took the full length of that Bane. I was not able to transfer any of it. And so I'm just like, wow, okay. Fired off my special 2, but just a little bit too early. but I was able to hit him and transfer that Bane again. Now watch this here. You see that? Now, normally when Mordo has the power gain up and he's turtling in the corner, that's when you fire your heavy. Had I fired my heavy off and I just had an idea that he was going to do something tricky, had I thrown my heavy, he would have attacked me and I would have gotten wrecked, and that would have been it. Sometimes he does that. Most of the time, you can throw your heavy and you're fine. But you saw he attacked me in the middle of that power gain. So you want to be aware of that, but I was able to get him down. No deaths, sloppy, but I survived. They didn't. All right, so now we've got the mini boss left. And my nerves are shot. My adrenaline is up, hands are shaking, and I was thinking of who I wanted to bring in against him. And honestly, any of my champions could do it. But I said, you know what? I'm just going to bite the bullet, not going to play with him, and go ahead and heal up my Corvus. And as you see here, it's the only use I had for these little level 2 health potions to just top off a little bit here. And I don't have any problem fighting Yondu, especially with Corvus. But like I said, I could have used my Starkey. So I went back in here just to check my boosts, make sure, you know, that they were still active and everything. And then you see me scrolling down here because I'm just thinking, did I use my damage, my cosmic damage boost? I don't have any. And I haven't seen any for a little bit. So I just went in with what I had. Now, to fight Yondu, he's pretty easy to fight. You just want to bait out his special 1. Okay? So baiting out his special 1 or his heavy, as you saw right there, is the way to go. So that's what you see me doing here. Just bait it out his special 1, do my medium, light, medium, bait out the special 1, wash, rinse, and repeat. When I get my special 2, fire that off. Now, he's on an unblockable special 2 node. I have seen people evade Yondu's special 2. I'm not one of them. I do not know how to evade his special 2. You should be okay, though, as long as you evade that first part and then block the rest. But blocking that second part, it does a lot of damage. But we got him down without too much trouble. And all that remains now is to find out how we did in this war. All right. There's only 20 seconds left, and we will find out how we did in this war. This war was crazy close. I mean, 1 death close. We think we got this, but you never know. It may come down to diversity, but we're about to find out in a couple seconds here. Tap anywhere to continue. How did we do? No animation again. Okay, well, I will just flip over here to the history. And we got it. We pulled it off. Look at that score. Crazy close, guys. So, Adrenaline Arc, you guys fought very well. Very close war. Ooh. But that's going to do it, guys. Click like, subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know what you thought about this video. And you guys have a blessed day.